Se o silêncio dissesse tudo, sentimento bom que me leva pro outro mundo. A vontade de te ver já é maior que tudo. Não existem distâncias no meu novo mundo, tipo coisas da sétima.
Undisclosed location in sunny, cold Las Vegas, Nevada for once. It's hot back in the Bay, but it's cold here. 40-something degrees. Want versus Need, the Real Death Squad, Suicide Squad. Brian Bernardino, Lagura, the Don of Want versus Need, Clint Cronin. We're here just all in Las Vegas at the same time, so we figured we'd do this thing, right?
Yeah, it's funny. Got in today in the morning, too early in the morning, and Ryan picked me up. It was really, really cold. For the first time, I felt that kind of cold in Las Vegas.
You actually recognized that it was cold outside when you got here?
Yeah, it was so weird because, usually I come around this time of year. Usually it's pretty hot. But
yeah, when it's ridiculously hot, I notice. But because I was lugging this podcast bullshit, it was all heavy. So by the time I got out the door to the self-parking garage, because I got Turo this time.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I do Uber or go to the rental car, the rental car place in Las Vegas. This time I use that Turo app. So instead of getting a Ford Fusion and paying out the ass for it, even with the corporate, setup at Avis, I think for $30 a day, I got this like a Lexus IS 200T. So yeah, it's sick. It's a sick little turbocharged sedan, and I think I only paid legitimately $30 a day for it.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Turo is the brand new Airbnb, right, for cars. So
yeah,
that's on the up and up for sure.
Yeah, the guy was cool, but he showed up with this full arm cast on him, and I'm like, "Uh-oh, what happened?" I was changing a light bulb.
So he delivered a car to you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So they met me at the airport self-parking, and he's like, "Don't worry, you don't have to pay for parking." He gives me the ticket. Like, I was like, "Oh, he's got me." I go to leave, and it's $2. It's like, "Oh, dick." That just means my plane came in late, so I was like penalized $2. I'm like, so. That's a thing apparently, but it's cool he delivered. I didn't know. I thought I have to go to this guy's house. So I found out about the app because my friend came in from Vegas to Cupertino, and he's like a big Apple fan, so he wanted to go and see the new spaceship campus or whatever. And he got a Turo car, but he had to go to this dude's house to pick up whatever car it was.
Yeah.
And
sounds sketchy.
Yeah, like right. I don't want to go to nobody's house. Like Craigslist type thing, gonna get murdered or something.
Yeah, I think we are in like the era of like how we can make better timing with the things for daily, Yeah, so if you think about it, like Uber, Airbnb, that kind of stuff, it just makes it better to do things faster.
You know what I noticed? That our generation is much more trusting and way more like willing to do things outside of, official establishment type things. But the previous generation, like the older, like our parents, they're terrified of Uber because they watch the news and they hear every time that there's an Uber attack or like an Uber driver gone bad. And to that, like my mom was talking about this to our cousin tonight, and that Uber, I'll never take an Uber. I'm like, I just took Uber like 2 hours ago or something.
Yeah.
I think we're in the age of convenience, right? At our fingertips all the time. Yeah. So like because of technology, like we're so used to having everything at our fingertips.
Oh yeah.
So like we prefer convenience versus doing it the old school way, right? And like nowadays you'll say, okay, I need to buy something. It's phone.
Yeah.
Apple changed the game.
It's so quick. Like Amazon, we have Amazon Prime now. We have Google Shopping Express. So we can have anything we want in under an hour. There's been podcasts where we had, I think, I had Tate Fletcher in my kitchen, like right after UFC 200, right? And this dude's like, he's Caveman Coffee. He's in like Avengers movie. He's in John Wick. And I needed a cable like right now. And they had it at the house within 30 minutes on Amazon Prime now. And like, everybody's looking like, what just happened? We're like, well, we were missing this cable. The other one broke. I needed a new mic cable. And it just happened. They just showed up and like they brought milk or something too.
Yeah. So I ordered a baby diapers like on Prime now.
It shows up like immediately almost.
Yeah, immediately.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I use Prime now, but I never buy anything like a diapers.
It's crazy. It shows up, and you can subscribe to stuff too, where it just you're going to use like this much toilet paper. Like you got a pretty good idea, so you don't need that much different stuff. Especially if you're training, like you get pretty much down to prescription kind of.
So is Prime now different than regular Prime? I mean, Prime.
Prime now comes within an hour if you want it to.
Oh,
but you get the access to it as being a Prime member. It's like we're plugging all these startups. Like these guys ain't paying us. Like this stuff's useful. I'm like,
so it's like it's a different membership.
It's a different app. You just get the Prime Now app or go to the Prime Now website. And if like imagine you want to do grocery shopping, they'll do Whole Foods. They do a whole bunch of stuff, man. And so if you want to do all your grocery shopping or this, and then it'll just show up and you can pick time windows. Wow. And if it's like perishables like milk or stuff that you have to refrigerate, they're not going to leave it on the porch. But if it's like a webcam or something, like they'll just drop it in your front door. You can tell them where to put it. Every once in a while, you get a stupid driver that like can't find stuff. They just their GPS app is like something's wrong. So I've had people like walk up and down my street where it's very clearly marked where my house is. It's like there's big numbers on the front. And I have like all the GPS apps, and I've never lost my house, like ever. But like I've had some silly drivers. But there's even in the Bay Area, there's Uber for weed. There's and because they just went maps. No, like that's like Yelp for weed. There is Uber for weed. Oh, wow. They show up at your house within like 15 minutes. Before it used to be medical, and now this thing will show up within 10, 15 minutes, and it's demand, like based on demand. So if they're busy, I guess it takes more, but for recreational too now, they will show up at your house within like, and they have CBD stuff too. So people that aren't just trying to get high, like if you have, it's not like, I have a sciatic nerve thing. I got a busted neck. I have a busted knee. I use CBD. I don't have any problem saying that. Like I think it's medicine, right? It helps me. I don't like being drunk or high or nothing like that. Like I like to have my wits about me, but yeah, they have this delivery thing and they'll show up within like 10, 15 minutes. Like the convenience thing is so crazy now. And I think like there's a big sacrifice for like maybe security or privacy in lieu of, they said like there was a punk rock band, Dead Kennedys, back in the day. And they said like, they had a shirt, it's like, give me convenience or give me death. And it's just like, it shows like how we value convenience. Think about it. When did we ever vote that it was okay to identify us with a fingerprint? Right?
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
When did we ever say it was okay to say that we can buy things with our fingerprints, that they can do we know that Apple and Google don't have our fingerprints stored? I don't know for sure. Do you read?
That's true.
Yeah. And no one voted on that. No one said it was okay ever. But the idea of being able to, because it was apps at first, they were like smooth about it. It was, you can get into your phone. Okay, no problem. Now we can use our face. So we're using 3D modeling, facial recognition. But you can use that now. Watch now. Next, it's going to be App Store. Next, it's going to be, okay, now you can go to the Mac store and get whatever. But what's the next thing after that? Like they're going to do the retinal thing next. It's going to be retinal on the phone.
Wow.
Retinal scan is going to be the next thing that your iPhone does. Because how else do you wow people with?
Right.
Because you can already I bet you can hack it. Because they hacked the fingerprint scanner immediately. As soon as Apple released it, they hacked it. Because what they did was like, they used some like scanned image of it with like a transparent like piece of plastic, and like we're able to push down on it, and they MacGyvered it with like the first day it came out. They're like, this is stupid. So that's why they came out with the facial thing. Well,
really? Among
other reasons, but yeah, like
sorry, what is that? iPhone 10?
No, is it just the 10?
Face ID.
Face ID is just the 10?
So far,
okay.
The 10 so far.
Because it does like mapping of.
Yeah, because I have it, so it's
iPhone 8. Sorry, can't afford it.
They have it on. I got one of those Xiaomi phones, the Mi Mix 2.
Right. Yeah.
And it had the original ROM I got with it didn't have it, but the newer one the Android 8 one, it has it, and it works pretty good. And I've tried it with a picture of me, and it doesn't work. Like, so there's some stuff in there where they're able to actually like see I guess maybe the texture, like
it's gonna be like 3D mapping. Something
yeah,
like in 3D.
Because I figured it was like, remember the app that came out where it was like how ugly are you, or like how like where they would like you take a selfie and it would be like you're this attractive or like this ugly, and people were getting all up in arms about it. It was like this thing sold so many millions of apps within like a couple days. These guys were balling because it would rate your face's like symmetry, like the space between your eyes, the space between your nose and like the edge of your head or whatever. And it would tell you based on this like symmetric thing, like how attractive you were or not, right? Like based on like facial symmetry and geometry and shit. And so, I mean, like they were able to do it with that because there was a free version that just took a picture of you and would just told you was ugly. But then if you paid $1, it actually had the math in there.
Hey man, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah. Shout out to my wife.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, okay, if y'all are...
Your camera died or?
No, it's it goes into like sleepy mode when...
Cool, just asking.
Unless it did. I'll get up. That'll be like an extra feature they can see. That'll be the outtakes. like I'm gonna edit it. Hold on. No, it's on. It's on. Okay, hold on. Is that part of the outtakes as well?
It's gotta stretch.
Oh. Yeah, it's over.
Just know, we've been awake early in the morning. We've been walking at the magic show all day today, so we're a little bit tired. So yeah, it's fucking.
What happened was memory card full on the 64 gig. So somebody's getting deleted real quick. This will be bonus feature. And we can actually talk about jiu-jitsu and that'd be great. Man. Wi-Fi. So, Brian, how long have you been with Walt vs. Meat now?
It was right after Pan's last year, so almost a year now. Because I remember that day, I was so stoked when Alan messaged me. I'm like, what does this mean? because I never thought of myself being in that position ever. Because, I mean, who am I, right? And then, it was just, was awesome. And I appreciate Al for including me in his team. So here we are.
Yeah, I mean, we look at to a lot of things. I mean, a few things that we really look at is like people that support us and what they're trying to do. And we just, once we see that name back and forth, that people just trying to support us and stuff like that, like we just want to go reach out to them. Hey man, what can we do for you guys? So we try to be, a servant for others as much as possible. And yeah, we've seen Ryan rock our stuff. We were pretty stoked, and I was like, man, I gotta reach out to this guy, see if we can do anything with them, So
yeah, you've been seeing more and more people. I mean, there's a Facebook group like the HBA, right?
Yeah.
Which is like it's less about kind of moving product and more about just friends sort of supporting friends, which is pretty cool. And seeing how much it's grown, and not just that, but like how like diehard the guys are about wearing the stuff, and like they bring it. You see them on the podium and stuff, and like. They're like very proud to be up there representing. It's cool. It's like an actual community as opposed to just people being like, I'm part of this group. I'm gonna go sell the gi now. You know what I mean? Like, because there are groups like that,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, not like one's better than the other, but like the feeling of community as opposed to just like commercialism is like there's something to that, and it's I don't know if it feels like different. Like it's a good thing.
We one goal that we had for that group was just to be to create a community together. Even if wherever you are in the world, is that you can be an insider, even you're an outsider, so you can kind of belong within the community. So I don't really push products there as much as we should, but we kind of leave it up to like what pops off there, and which is pretty cool. Like I actually just saw somebody posted like this Gracie book that has been sold out for like months or years. So I don't know. I don't really. So anyways, they looked it up. So some guy was like, "Hey, I read this book, and anybody that wants to read this book, you can have it." And then somebody looked it up. It's like, "Hey, we've been looking for this book forever." So everyone looked up eBay and Amazon, and you know how much it's going for now?
No.
$1,000. It's some great. It's like some Gracie story of how they really started.
Wow.
Yeah, like beyond the Helio. So it was I guess that's what's the book about. So we're like, yo, read that within the week, pass it on.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's what makes it cool. That whole group. So
That's very cool.
shout out to the HBA. I think it was Byron. Yeah.
Oh, right on, man. Yeah. There's some cool stuff I'm sure they have in the archives. Like I went over and met with Valente Brothers in Miami Beach this year, and they have this crate. Like they have a compound basically. Like if you go to Gracie, like the Gracie Academy of Torrance is badass. Like I haven't been to the new one, but even the previous one was pretty. Like they had a museum in there. It's cool. Valente Brothers, like they were in the process of building theirs. Like I can't even like mention half the stuff I saw, but they had old I guess they were like slides and like these old school, like I guess the Brazil version of Polaroids or whatever. And they were showing like the original Gracie techniques that they're putting in books or whatever, and putting in like, I guess maybe, trying to do like brochures or like a book out of it. And I mean, this is like Carlos and Elio when they were young, like old pictures. Like they had to be from the 50s or early 60s or some crap. And it was, the one thing I saw that was cool in there, they were showing heel hooks, they were showing knee bars and toe holds. And it was like, the idea that, leg locks were forbidden or whatever.
Yeah.
They were instructional straight up showing like this is the heel hook. Because Elio had Carlos, and when Carlos had him in a toe hold, and it was different versions. It was like standing version, like different outside, inside heel hooks. It was a whole thing.
Wow.
See, and I'm looking through all this stuff, and Pedro Valente was like going through, he's like, see, and because they're like very much into like the kind of self-defense side of jiu-jitsu as opposed to competition. Like if you want to compete there, they're like, probably don't, you guys just train over here instead. Maybe it's like they're about, it's a different thing. But it was cool sort of to see the history side of it. So I kind of want to go back and just see. So now I'm interested. I want to see the book. Like I'm not paying $1,000. I'm like, maybe it'll be a PDF.
Yeah,
maybe they'll pass it on to you after they.
No, yeah, we were like, you guys gotta pass that on now. But it was called. I have it here. It was called Carlos Gracie, the creator of a fighting dynasty. But it was written by Hala Gracie. I don't exactly know what it's about, but people are tripping out. Like, so HBA, they looked it up. It's it's. Amazon is going about $1,000 and eBay is going about $1,000. So
do you think people are actually paying it, or like they just set that price and that's it? Like
I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Surprised, because when you're a collector and you love history, the value of an item just really depends on how much you want it, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing with gis too, right? Someone will pay, $1,500.
Yeah, I always say that, like. No, like the same thing with cars, right? You can build as the most badass cars as you want, right? It's only what people are willing to pay for.
Yep.
So you never know. Like, I could build a $100,000 car, but maybe some people only wants to pay $20,000 for it. So
it's all like, it's so much is subjective and timing, right? Like my buddy owns a comic book shop in Sunnyvale, and they know they know them at DC. Like the guy's like a somebody in that whole scene. It's Comics Conspiracy. He's got a podcast, like a ton of subscribers. But they got robbed when they had the shop like right over by AKA Sunnyvale. Somebody did a smash and grab. Like they broke in, they broke the doors. The whole front of it was glass, but they broke this barn. They like, those split doors where like it's like the top opens, like the old school like farm door looking things. They broke that, and it was like it was a cool door. It had been there for like years, since like the 70s or something. But they could have just smashed the glass, but they broke the door. Like, you guys were stupid. And they broke in and they stole a bunch of comic books. And I'm like, dude, who are you like? Do you have buyers for Wolverine, whatever, some random issue? Like
on the streets in the black market.
Yeah, like, because it's a retail business after hours, and anybody that's ever worked retail or like owned a store, you pull the till, you take the money home, or you put it in a safe at night. So they went and they tried to steal the computer, but they didn't know how to unplug the cables. And then they just stole a bunch of the comic books off the wall. And like any comic shop, those ones on the wall in the front, they're selling the books that are related to movies that are hot right now. Right? So it's timing. So you could build a fly car, like whatever, bike, But if that car isn't in demand right now, like you're gonna, those Mecum auctions where like guys will show up with like some cherry like classic car, but right now it's about the imports. Right now it's about the Italian cars. Right now it's about the GTR. So it's like all the classic Japanese cars are in style, like whatever. Like it's the flavor of the week and who shows up that day. So yeah, that $1,000 book, like there's people that'll buy it, but maybe not next month.
Yeah.
Like, what if Muay Thai just goes in a big resurgence, and then Jiu-Jitsu's like for a little bit? So you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's pretty nuts, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy. so I've been so into these fight to win events. I don't know.
That was yesterday, right?
Yeah. Fuki, he was just on the podcast from One World. He went against Jake Scoville from
You guys are stud, yeah.
Yeah, so
Fuki also is a stud.
He is. He got caught in a toe hold, or it might have been a steam lock, but his ankle popped and was pretty damn swollen.
Oh, really?
Because Jake's been training over. He's obviously a Kurt Sanders student, which is one thing, and those guys like that's a hard place to train at. Like Half Gracie, San Francisco, they'll fight you. It's just hard training. They're awesome people, but it's hard training.
Yeah, I stopped by there once. It was pretty gnarly.
So Jake Shields moved to New York and trains at Danaher now. So he came back to do his camp at Half's. So he's been training with all those guys. So Nick Green's been training with them. Like that guy Ramin, the guy just got his black belt with Nick. He's been training with them. Like Jake obviously been training with them. So expect leg locks, right? And you saw very dominant performances from the San Francisco Half Gracie guys.
Yeah.
I got to roll with Jake Shields about 2 months ago before his Submission Underground thing, and you have to be ready to fight. It was no gi starting from standing. Like I wasn't even warmed up. I'm like, oh man, it was like a shock to my system because we'd been rolling like all kind of friendly, not kind of competition rolling the last few weeks, and then just to go up like 10 levels was just I took such a beating. But like that next 2 weeks in training though, everybody else took beatings for me because I was awake now. I'm like, no. You know what it's like? Like you go and compete, you don't do that well that next Monday, like everybody's got hell to pay.
Yeah, there's a lot of studs in that Half Gracie and SF. I mean, there's some lower belts in there that we support. Man, some of those kids are just like training twice a day. It's nuts.
How did Bryant's little brother do? It's Jacob, right?
I didn't really, I was really, really super tired yesterday.
Oh man.
Went riding for like half a day and then went to train. So I didn't really catch, like, by the time I got home in the afternoon, I passed out, man. And I woke up in the middle of the night and then had dinner with the family. But no, I don't know anything about it yet. I just kind of saw here and there.
Yeah, he was still there towards the end watching the matches, like, because we were all kind of sitting back where the entrance was, but sort of the backstage sort of area behind the speaker things. But, so you did Pans last year. You're doing Pans again this year, which is crazy because you got a whole story behind that. Like doing Pans to do it is a thing in itself, but like you're battling back from you just had surgery. How long ago now?
It was Christmas Eve. I had thyroid cancer surgery, my second one because it came back.
Jesus.
I was first diagnosed 3 years ago, and that's actually a funny story because I found it by accident because me and my wife were trying to get pregnant, for 2 years. I'm like, oh, something must be wrong, so I decided to go for a physical. Did his thing, doctor did his thing. Sure enough, I was so lucky that the doctor actually did his job properly. He just felt here, felt there. Wait a minute. Something was wrong, and then I did a biopsy and ultrasound. Turns out it was thyroid cancer.
Oh, so lymph nodes were like real swollen, or?
There was bumps, right?
Oh.
And then they did biopsy and ultrasound. Then, sure enough, came back. It was cancer. So a few weeks after that, went to surgery right away. They took out 17 nodules out of my neck, so I have no more thyroid, and they cleaned out my neck.
Wow.
Yeah. So then
you beat that, right?
Yes, but unfortunately, it came back last year, right? So, but I caught early again, so I'm also blessed and lucky that we caught early again because I have to go back to the doctor every 3 months and whatnot, right? So then there was another area, it moved, right? So then, I was lucky that the doctor squeezed me in before the year ended. So Christmas Eve, I'll never forget
I
that.
remember that.
That was the best gift from Santo Ball, gift of health.
Yeah, a knife.
You spent the Christmas Day.
Correct. Christmas Day over there, but I went back home, the very next day. So, but this time around, it was such a much easier surgery because the first time I couldn't eat, I couldn't talk for several days. But this time around, I guess it's the location versus down here. Now it's on the side. The very same night, I ate an In-N-Out burger. That very same night.
What is the process?
savage.
Do they cut it out? You go in there and
Yeah, they cut it out, right? And then they clean it out. The first time I did radioactive iodine pill therapy. So you pop a couple of pills that's radioactive, but you had to be isolated for 5 days with no other human contacts. I was in my room for like 4 or 5 days, eating my own food through my own utensils, that way to catch or kill whatever's left, just in case, right? So this year, I'm going to find out next month whether I have to go through that again.
Damn.
Yeah. So,
And so that means your last performance in Pan Am's was after going through literally cancer surgery,
Correct.
beating it, then like coming out with a good performance, man. And then you just came out of this like under 6 weeks ago. This is 6
Correct.
weeks ago,
Yeah.
and Pan's is less than that away,
right.
man.
Yeah, I always tell people, because people won't believe me, like, why are you doing this? Because doctors will say, hey, you can't do anything for 6 months. But I'm like, fuck that. There's no way I will, stop training. But even the first time, 6 weeks after also, I did Naga for the very, right after. And I wasn't even ready. But, I like to challenge myself. And I always tell people, I'm just built tough through a jiu-jitsu, right? Right. I think without jiu-jitsu, I would probably be more sicker, weaker. Like I would not recover faster. Because all those years of training, you're trained, your body gets trained. Oh, I broke a finger. Like, oh well. Like you heal faster. Oh my knees hurt. Like you know how to battle through it. So you're tougher physically, mentally, and your body's used to all that beating, right?
Yeah.
So that definitely helps. So in a way, kind of jiu-jitsu saved my life in a way as far as recovery goes. Right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it totally does. I mean, even you're interacting, like you're in like intimate proximity to people of all kinds of germs and people of all kinds of culture, different background, people traveling, people with kids. So I mean, like your immune system's got to be, it's
Right.
stronger than people that aren't exposed to this stuff, like that aren't, around people in that close distance. Because I mean, as much as you'd love to think that your training partners are all like very clean and very sanitary, man, people are scumbags. Like, it's like going to this public swimming pool. You watch people just jump right in, and you're like, "Did you shower before you got in?" You're like, "No, neither did anybody else. I think, but me, maybe." I'll see people at the 24-hour fatness. And like you can just watch. They'll go right from going to the locker room or right from working out, and they'll get right in the hot tub. And it was to the point where like I would stop people, and like I wasn't trying to be like an asshole confrontational. It was just happening. I'm like, "Did you shower first?" And they'd look at you all offended and be like, "Well, you see that look on your face? Imagine mine when you just went in here all nappy and tried to swim in here and share your bullshit with me." But like that's all. It seems pretentious because with jiu-jitsu, everybody just comes right from work. God knows what they do for a living.
Right.
Right.
guilty.
Everybody does. Like I try very hard. In an ideal world, I'll train early in the morning. I'll teach my 6:30 a.m. class, and then I'll go to work. I'll do my thing. I'll hopefully get off at like 4. Yeah, I'll probably go back and do more work at night, but I would get off at 4. I would nap until that 5:30 class. Then I'd go train at 5:30. Like I'd teach in the morning, learn at night, but I'd shower after that nap before training. Like this is ideal, perfect world. And then I'd shower again afterwards.
Right.
And like this is like a perfect day for me. I'm getting the shit kicked out of me twice, and I'm working all day. But it seems like just that little nap You know what I'm saying? And then like getting up at 6 in the
That's all
morning,
you
like, yeah. Like, and then the shower before and after, like the showers are like the most satisfying thing. So when you get done training, all I'm thinking about is I need some water, I need a shower, I need food. And you can't bother me about anything else. There's no drama. There's no conflict. There's no, did you do what's your water? We're talking about shower and we're talking about food. And that's it.
So back to you, Ryan. Where'd you started training at? Or how'd you find out about jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu. Well, I grew up in Canada, but I went back to the Philippines for college in 1998. And I went back there. Went to De La Salle University. And then...
This is in the Philippines?
In the Philippines, Manila. Back then, it was just like Royce Gracie UFC, right?
Yes.
And then the Philippines, I shit you not, people that knew how to do jiu-jitsu was a handful. And then I met some friends in college that actually was part of this sport club type called Dasarian, which is the Filipino martial arts, right? And then part of their program is a jiu-jitsu. Back then it was just, blue belts and white belts, right? So we got introduced to that. So I did that as a white belt for about a year, even did like a couple of in-house tournaments back then. And then after that, in 2000, I tore my ACL playing flag football. And then I stopped cold turkey until 2008.
Wow.
Oh, man.
It's 10 years.
Right, yeah. So almost 10 years, I stopped cold turkey until the crash of the economy. I was jobless.
You had some time on your hands.
Yeah, I had time on my hands, And I was, I've hit rock bottom. My girlfriend left me, broke, about to lose my house, right? I told myself, I was just down. And I was like, I have to do something with my life otherwise. Sure enough, I started, researching. And then I found Team Mika, jiu-jitsu, which is before it was a Machado place, right? And then which is now Gracie Maita. And then since 08, 09, I have not stopped training since.
Wow.
Non-stop. So yeah.
When did you get your black belt?
December 23 of 2015.
Wow.
It's not it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not.
When did you get your black belt?
2 years ago.
Yeah.
But whenever that was.
Yeah, so almost the same time.
It's crazy to think, I'm just a purple belt, but it's crazy to think, reaching a black belt. Like, when you're a white and blue, kind of, but once you reach that purple, it's like, okay, this is doable.
Right.
Yeah, purple belt was this whole, I realized that day that I got promoted to purple, I didn't think I was going to get my purple belt when I got it, and it was...
I think everyone feels like that. When I got my purple belt, I was like, I don't know if I'm ready.
I didn't even really know Mike that well, and he was very quiet. Mike Prudencio, my instructor,
super awesome guy, by the way.
Yeah, but when you first kind of get to know him, he's a very quiet guy. He's very reserved. He speaks very deliberately when he does. Otherwise, he kind of keeps he keeps a low profile. He's low key. He's one of those he's wise, and he's been around forever. And when I got my purple, I didn't know where I stood with him because he came in and took over the jiu-jitsu program from the previous. It was a guerrilla jiu-jitsu under Bobby Southworth and Dave Camarillo, and then when Mike came in, which Mike's a Dave Camarillo black belt as well, so he kind of moved the One World Jiu-Jitsu program into AK Sunnyvale, and I didn't have that. I didn't know him that well, and I was well, I've been here since I was the first student to sign up at that gym. I moved over from Half's in Mountain View. From and I didn't know, but that day I got my purple belt, I was and just the anticipation of because the majority of promotions it isn't going to be you. Probability wise, the number of times the belts are given out and stuff, and as long as it takes to get to a black belt, the majority of times that belts are handed out, it isn't you, and you get used to that. And when you're going from white to blue belt, that can be hard. A lot of people bounce, they get upset, they leave schools, they really wear it on their sleeve. They're like, fuck them, blah, 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 I deserve it. And that's the worst thing in the world. But even if you don't say it out loud, people get pretty butthurt about the belt thing. But the day I got my purple belt was I'm only ever going to experience this up and down feelings like twice ever now. And after that, it's like, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
I didn't even comprehend it's about the students now. I didn't even comprehend it's about the next wave of people. And
yeah. I mean, I think when I got my purple belt, it didn't really like hit me because I felt like I was out for almost a year when I got my blue belt. So I was just happy being on the mat. So I mean, I was okay to be a blue belt forever if I needed to. I was just happy training. So when I got my purple belt, I was like, yeah, whatever. But then a week later and 2 weeks, I was like, oh wow, just to think about it. I was that dude that was scared to get on the mat, and I was that dude that was like, don't want to touch nobody because it's kind of gay touching other dudes. Like, you just need to get over that. But yeah, like, I didn't want to touch nobody, man. But, you know, got challenged by some friends and whatnot, so really focused on it. But yeah, man, purple belt is like, whoa, it's crazy.
For me, you know, even at a black belt now, right when I got it, you know, the very first day I went back to training, especially when I started covering classes as a black belt, I have never felt such a white belt in my life when I got my black belt.
yeah,
And I shit you not, it's so true. There's just rolling, there's competition. Teaching is a whole new beast. Only then you know, like, holy shit, I'm not a black belt. I have to relearn everything the right way, the details of what counts.
oh yeah, yeah.
You know, back then, you know, when I was white belt, I would never have thought that I would get my blue. When you get to blue, this is it. I'm done. After that, then purple, then like, no, this is it. This is the most I'll ever reach. And brown, and then black.
Every belt's black belt when you're a white belt, and then even a blue purple, like they're all black belt because it takes so long,
right?
Like compared to other stuff in life, like they just they're very tangible goals. But when you're on the mat and the grind and like have a bad day on the mat and tell me blue belt's a tangible goal, like it doesn't feel tangible at all because there's no. This is, and I know some schools are more structured about like, you know, when stuff's happening, but the old school way, like we didn't know, we didn't have this scheduled thing. You just, one day you were a blue belt or one day you were a purple belt. That's
how it is in our school.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all like same in the Bay Area. It's like it all started from like same lineage. It was all like Half, because his instructor's a Half Gracie black belt. Mike Prudencio went up to brown belt under Half, and then Dave is a Half Gracie black belt as well. So like everything started out of like Half, Charles, and kind of like Claudio Franza. Like that's the whole Bay, the whole thing. Like people that train at different gyms now. It's why it's cool to go to tournaments. Like I coach against my old instructors and teammates all the time, because back in the day there was only a couple gyms in the whole Peninsula South Bay area, and now there's more. And when people leave, it's not like, oh, créancier and disloyal, dude. It's because it's closer to their house, because they were driving an hour before, and the traffic sucks. Like Vegas traffic is nothing compared to Bay Area. Like this is wonderful traffic, because even if stuff's like Henderson to, you know, wherever, like the roads are way better here. Like they've developed them smart. They connected the 215. You go to LA or Bay Area, like fuck, that traffic's terrible.
Yeah, I remember when we like in San Jose when I started, there was only like AKA, and then there's Heroes, and then I just started on like some. Like I don't think it was a gym. It was like a night school that one of my friends just kind of put mats. I think you know who it is, Hob. Yeah, so like his girl at the time had like some kind of like night school, and they had mats on there, so I would just get invited and get beat up by 17-year-old.
Was that the one off of like St. Carlos Street?
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, it's like
yes, and then Gorilla wasn't around.
It was right next to it. Was where it was gonna be next to it though. I
remember that, and I was just getting. I remember getting beat up by a 17-year-old. I think he wasn't even 17. I think he was only like 15. Some kid was just beating the shit out of me.
That's normal though nowadays.
Yeah,
you know? You just never know.
What's Gordon Ryan's little brother? Didn't he beat Marvin Castile or something? Like 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's amazing. Yeah. You know, back then, like years ago when it first all started, right? Because I think we're all at the same time frame. the jiu-jitsu world was a small pool. Now it's an ocean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right? The people think, oh, you're a black belt, it's supposed to be like, tough and super tough, beat up everyone. That's not the case. They have blue belts, purple belts, like that can, pretty much smash me.
Yeah.
Hey, you should never know.
There's some like if you go to schools that are like very successful in competition and you roll with some of their better purple belts, like I've trained at a couple of the main like 10th Planet ones, like the one in San Diego and like the one with Eddie Bravo. His purple belts are no joke. The ones at Jean-Jacques Machado, the one dude, what's his, Eric Medina, he just got his brown belt this year, but when I roll with him, he was a purple belt. This dude's like pretty much half my size. And he took Barrett Yoshida to the distance when he was a purple belt. They went at EBI and he went against Barrett Yoshida, who is a legend. And he took him to the distance and was like that close to beating him.
Wow.
And like that was a purple belt over at Jean-Jacques Machado school. You roll with the guys over at Drysdale school here. You got some, brown and purple belts, and like they'll fight you. Mm-hmm. The level is getting higher and higher. Like the day I got my black belt, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sign up for U.S. Open. Like I'm just gonna do it. I don't even care, because then like I started doing, like I was just super into the podcast, so I just went to every single gym and like everybody that was like legend status. When you're like a white belt, you're like, I want to meet this guy, and it was just, I wanted to go and like learn everything, like spend a day with Eduardo Telles, and then that night go over and train with Boogeyman in San Diego, and the next day like go back to LA and train with somebody else. Like went to Henry Gracie's place, like I wanted to just get smashed by like the best people I could find that were just willing to work, like Henry Akins. Like the guy puts pressure on you, you're just like, I'm gonna crap my pants.
Invisible Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah. Have you trained with him before?
No, he's
got the marketing thing, right?
Right,
like,
got the marketing thing. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
It's crazy though. Like, go visit him or go to one of his seminars. Like, it's not the cheapest seminar, but no, he's legit. He's very legit, and the pressure stuff you learn from him, you're like he does stuff, and you're just looking at like just the real small little details of the technique, and it's a difference between like a feather being on your chest and like a car. And it's like just little tiny details. Like it sounds like I'm just trying to plug his stuff, but like I went to a seminar up in actually it's Bryant's old, like his school before he took over that building. Mm-hmm. There was, I guess, a Gracie affiliate up there, and they brought Henry Akins up there. And after going to a seminar, I'm like, no, I need to go and train with this guy. So I went to Dynamics MMA in LA, like wherever. It's all LA. It's called Dynamics MMA. What's the pier called? Santa Monica. Santa Monica, like right kind of near the pier area, like before it. And I went there just to go train with him, and I'm like, I wanted to have him on the podcast anyway, which is a bonus, but I got to train there for a couple days, and it was like, he knows the details of stuff so well, where even been training like 13 years at the time, I felt like, why didn't I know that? Like that was such basic stuff. And because he spent years with Rickson Gracie. He's a 4th degree under Rickson or something, like 3rd or 4th degree black belt under Rickson. But on top of that, he was a bouncer in LA nightclubs for like 15 years. So he would learn all the self-defense type stuff and be like, actually, when somebody goes to hit you in the face, you need to be like this instead of like this. And like, he has that kind of insight. Yeah. So like him doing the marketing stuff, like I'm glad, because it's legit. It's the dude's. Yeah,
I think people that hyper focuses on one thing is like really succeeds to doing that. So like some of those guys like that, Rickson Gracie black belt, they really focus on those, like, I guess, just invisible jiu-jitsu and whatnot. Like you think about it, like AOJ, they kind of focus on more competition style. Yeah. So those guys are like just super good at competition.
Killing the hips in a million and one different ways.
Either you win by an advantage or whatnot. It's like, hey, winning is winning. But like kind of the stuff, I think he just really just focus on doing that kind of style of jiu-jitsu, which is amazing. And you just get good at it, I mean, the more you teach about it, the more you learn those little details. So
It's crazy. Like the schools that are very competitive, checkmat, for example. I was just at a Leo Vieira seminar, and like a friend of mine owns co-owns one of the checkmat schools in the Bay, and I heard like one of the only ones actually by us. So I get, they don't usually have people outside of checkmat go, but like I'll get the invite because I've known them do for years, and just seeing how they do stuff and how it's every season. It's like, this is the new thing. This is what our focus is like. And it's like so elaborate, so like focused, where it's like, damn, these guys this is what they're doing this year. And like, people are studying them. The other schools they're all studying each other. They have to, because at that level, it's like such small details, and they're already so freaking good. It's crazy.
I bet.
Yeah. I always tell the other guys that it's so important for you to cross train or train over at other branches, to get different looks, because sometimes you're only as good as your training partner, right?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like you get so used to one method of teaching, so on and so forth, but then when you go to a tournament or like go with someone else that's a visitor, you're like, what just happened, right? Right, and then you just have this tunnel vision to where you'll know one way, but you could either go online, YouTube, whatever, to like do all your own research, but just for growth, right?
Yeah.
But then again, to each his own, right? Some guys just prefer it's one way. That's okay. I'm just here just to learn some technique and go home. Some guys want to compete. Some guys are really hardcore about it, but it's your own journey. So.
Yeah, for the guys that want to compete, like you mentioned earlier, like just being that shocked, like, being outside of your comfort zone. If you find yourself in that place, like in competition more than once, it's like, man, that's on them. And I know there's instructors that are very much like, just train here, don't go other places. And there's old school reasons for that, I'm sure, and different philosophy about it. But I feel like I try to encourage my students and friends and training partners to go to seminars, go hit up open mats and go mix it up. If you have a friend over here, drop in. And like, I don't know. I don't like to be like, so like finger pointing and be like, oh, it's an insecurity thing from instructors where they're like, don't go over here. Don't go anywhere but here. I'm like, no, like I have one student that has like, he's super flexible and like, he'd be really good, like learning some 10th planet stuff. And I'm like, no, you should definitely take the opportunity and like go do on some privates there, do open mat, drop in, like go visit one for a week. Like it would benefit you to pick that stuff up. And I mean, if that's where they wind up going, I'm like, not everybody's, there's so much variety in the world. Like people should do what makes them happier, like what benefits them the best. Like,
that's true.
And if they,
I mean, just talking about the cross training, like, I mean, at the gym, there's a lot of purple belts and brown belts in our gym now because a lot of them are, getting up there. And, I fairly do well with our guys, and some guys are really good. But, like, one time I visited, a couple times actually, I visited Jason Hunt and Kenny Florian School, Meraki, and rolled with one of the purple belts there. Shut down my game left and right. Took my back. It was just like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, now it just made me think about it and just like kind of need to go back to like, okay, need to like really open up my new game, not just kind of stick there. And because before it was like I would just play the lapel guard and kind of wait for the mistake that he made, but now I really have to go after. So that really opened up my mind just by cross training with those guys. And also like, man, Kenny Florian like showed me some stuff after training. It was just like blew my mind. It was such a simple detail. I was like, wait a minute, like, oh wow. It was nuts. So if you guys ever get to around Santa Monica, around the LA area, stop by at Meraki.
Oh, that's on the list for sure.
Yeah, man, such an awesome place, dude. They really, really did a good job building that school. It's like next level.
So I know a lot of gyms now are like white gi only. Is it because it looks like it looks cool, like everything. It has like like an Apple store.
It is
or
white gi
everything's
only.
like very clean. Is it white want versus need gi only?
No.
But that's the club gi though, right?
Yeah,
It is the
yeah,
club.
yeah,
Okay, it's a
yeah,
club.
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
you gotta plug that. We gotta plug that. No, that's
It's
cool.
a white
That's
gi
cool.
only. Yeah, we did work with those guys to develop their first ski because Jason's a really good friend, and Kane is also a good friend. So, when before they opened the school, they were trying to figure out how to make uniforms and stuff, and we just happened to be there, and they asked us, and we did it and we made it. But one day when Ryan opened up his own school, it's gonna be black geese only.
It'll be Darth Vader version, right?
Oh, that's cool. That's
Because
cool.
because Ryan's school only wears white geese only, so he wants to
White
break.
and blue. Yeah. all
Oh,
geese
yeah.
in white.
Oh, that's right, huh?
Yeah, white
That's-
and blue only.
So you're gonna be the dark side,
The
right?
dark side.
That'll be fun.
Gracie dark side. There you go, man. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That's cool, man. I think I have two of my geese are I think I got do I have two black ones of yours? I think I got the one for sure. I got the illest one, and then now I got white. Then I think blue or I don't know. I got too many geese, but I don't wear that many black
You
ones.
can never have too many geese, by the way. That's blasphemy.
Oh, I had way too many. I had way too many geese. I was like,
I know, but it was so funny. I think the other day, last Thursday, I was in my office and I needed to train. I forgot my gi at home, and I was like telling my partner CJ, I was like, "Hey man, I gotta go home. I gotta go pick up a gi because I don't have any gis." And he was like, "Bro, you have a bunch of geese here, but it's different, like when you have a collection of geese, you don't want to touch that sometimes. It's kind of weird, but
and he has the whole factory surplus of, and is a gi manufacturer.
but
Exactly.
You could
the 10 commandments from Biggie, right? Never get high on your own supply. I kind of take the same thing, is never take your own geese that you need to.
But you got samples you're never ever gonna sell.
I know,
It
but
kind of
those
It
samples.
could be like a Ross one with one arm a little bit longer than the other one. You just
Yeah.
rock it. You just do like this kind of thing.
Yeah, I have this mind. It's a stupid mindset, but those samples, you gotta stay there, gotta
Yo,
stay
you
untouched.
You don't ever roll the samples.
Yeah, no.
Really?
Whatever that I get, the samples. Well, actually, I have a few times, but when I do, it's my house is not too far. It's 15 minutes away, so just kind of go back and get a gi. But sometimes it does sound crazy when you're like, dude, I gotta go home. I don't have any geese at my office, which we have a lot of geese, but it's just the
His
stuff.
office is mostly geese.
Exactly.
Then there's two
There's
computers
racks
and it's
racks,
geese.
racks.
No, but I just hate having to open a new one because it's very limited. So we don't have a lot of geese left over sometimes. So I don't want to take another one of the same one. I already have one. So I just go home and pick up another gi and whatnot. But yeah, my partner CJ would just be like,
Just rolls his eyes at you because you have
Talking
you have
about.
all the geese, and not only all the geese. In that neighborhood, there are geese right there technically.
yeah, but the thing is,
There's two jujitsu schools, a jujitsu clothing store.
but Heroes has a new rules now that if you're a purple belt and you forget your belt and your gi, you're gonna have to do some burpees, 100 or something.
So people just ain't gonna come in the door.
Well, no, for the people that trains there. I'm sorry.
No, but so if you were to pull up there in your car and you knew it was there, you just keep driving, because otherwise you're gonna be doing some burpees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna go home for 15 minutes and just not do it. Because I come super late too. It's not that I try to, not do the basic or the exercise or the warm up and whatnot. But man, I get there at 8:00, and by the time I get there, it's already rolling. So if I forget my belt, that's another 15 minutes, sort of doing burpees or whatever. So.
Man,
I think for me, whenever I would forget my belt, right, I would get shamed, right? It would be, it would bug the entire, class, and then, then when you line up, you're at the very, very end, right? Yeah. Or like sometimes, when you're super late and forgot your belt, like you have to sit there and then wait as sort of punishment. That's what you get. Just wait there. No, you can't go on the mat, or don't even roll.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes, it's good to have those old school rules sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. For the most part, like your buddies always just bust your balls. This guy.
Yeah, I did. Heroes is very, very, very chill. Super chill. So I did come across one time, I don't know what gym I visited, but I saw some people waiting until they get the nod to come in, which is, a respectful way. So,
Right.
but that was first for me. But some of the stuff, I try to be respectful. So ever since I saw that, I would wait to get a nod if I visit a school to be able to come in to them on the mat if they're teaching or whatnot. So even though Meraki's they're my good friends, when they're teaching and I'm visiting and I wait now, and then sometimes they were like, man, just jump in, but it just feels weird.
Right. Yeah. Sitting with us until this day, we like to practice that tradition, right? So then if you're late, you have to wait until you get waved in. Make sure you shake the instructor's hand first, or by rank, and so on and so forth. Even sometimes whenever I teach, right, especially these young dudes nowadays, just come and go as they please. Sometimes I would bust their balls like, hey, wait a second. Wait there until, because, I think at a young age, it's good to learn respect and also tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Then later on, okay. But when you're new, you pretty much have to learn the rules first. That at least have the foundation,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. What do you think? Some kind of what? Since you guys are both black belts, what have you guys seen a kind of weird or different kind of rules than everyone ever?
Weird. I've seen
Because the reason why I brought this up, because I heard stories at Crone that when you go visit, you can't wear your belt or something.
So I've
I just heard this.
I've heard where that
Like a guest belt or something.
there's a belt. So the regular black belt, it's black, and then the rank bar is red, right? I think there's one gym where they'll give you you get to wear a black belt, but your rank bar is now white. Or the same with the other. So if you're a blue belt, you don't get the blue with black. You wear blue with the white bar. And so if you had stripes when you got there.
So let's go back to this. So I don't know this. It was maybe good for somebody else too. So what does the bars mean?
They're rank bars, right? So if you have just
so what is a regular belt with a black bar?
that's just a black belt or a blue belt, you're just a blue belt, right? Then you'd be like a white one stripe, two stripe. The places that use the stripes, right?
Okay.
Then black belt goes up to 9 stripes, and then you're a red belt or whatever. You're corral if you're the candy cane ones 7th and 8th and whatever. But if you have a belt with the rank bar has a stripe on each side of the rank bar, those are instructor stripes. So if you have a black belt with just the red bar, they're a black belt. But if they have the professor thing, they're instructor there, so that's supposed to denote that. It would be black belts here, then there's the red bar, then there's white at the ends. Those are instructor stripes. So it's when you buy a belt through something like Kataro, for example, you can actually put that. You can click instructor, and for a couple bucks more, they'll add the instructor stripes.
Yes, I've got 2 belts from Kataro. One
so
is
nice,
my daily, and then one, is whenever I teach, because it has the stripes on the side.
Yep.
But going back to your question, one of the weirdest, let's say weird, but oddest rules that I've ever encountered with is when I went to Laguna Hills and I tried to visit a school, which I won't name, of course, but I called and messaged them. I was like, hey, very respectful. Hey, I'm from here. Do you mind if I join your class? And they literally said, no, you cannot. Unfortunately, we don't accept any other students to come visit unless you're part of our
association. Or
Oh wow,
yeah.
that's a
Do you remember
first.
that I was texting you that day?
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
I've never encountered in my life, because I love to train at other schools whenever I travel, especially.
Yeah.
But that was the first time that I've actually encountered that. Someone really saying, sorry, you cannot.
I know a place that does not take drop-ins at all, and they say it's for sort of the safety of their students and for, I guess there's kids there, kids classes as well. I don't know. I don't. I personally have feelings about it where, like I said earlier, I'd rather people have the ability to go and do whatever they want. In the confines of my classes, I'm not going to say I'm an asshole or strict or whatever, but I have certain expectations, and it comes to respect and, respect, for like how to learn, like, people, shouldn't be talking when the instruction's going on. The drilling's a certain amount of drilling. The warm-up's a certain way. I don't like people coming in late. Like, if I teach early in the morning, it's a safety. This is legit a safety thing. We don't have climate control. When it's cold, the warm-up's harder. And that's for their safety. That's why I don't want people, like, you can hurt yourself anywhere else, but not my class. Like, so their safety, they're like the conditioning stuff, the calisthenics, doing the running, the warm-up, it's for their safety. Like, I don't want everybody with busted knees, busted, ankles, whatever.
Yeah, does that make a difference?
It's very cold. Like, I want a good warm up. I want to make sure they're wet when they get on the mat. Like, they got the blood pressure up. At least, is your neck good? Is your spine good? Are your knees good? Cool. Now we can start working. And we do a bunch of drilling, but things about walking off the mat without sort of everybody, like, we go as a team. If the way we would do it at first, if somebody would like go and get water, everybody's going to do push-ups so they come back. So it's not me. I'm not punishing anybody. The community just fixed it because that's how it is. And it never happens again. It's like, well, the first time when someone comes in, I'll be like, I know it's cold. I know you're tired. That's the last time we're going to talk about it. Like, nobody wants to hear a grown man complain. That's it. Or grown adult complain. Nobody wants to hear a grown ass adult complain. And I try to like lead based on that. Like, no matter how bad it feels right now, I promise it gets worse. But did you die? Right? We're legit death squad.
So I have a question for both of you guys, since you guys are both black belts. What is your end goal now in regards to just being as a black belt? Either, a competition or just keep it going and just kind of stuff.
Right.
Well, for me, like I said earlier, until this day, I still cannot believe or accept the fact that I'm still a black belt. Right. That's just how I am. It's like, because honestly, the pool of black belts is so big to where who am I to say that, yeah, I'm a black belt, but there's somebody else that has like 10, 20 years of experience. Now that's a black belt, right? So my short-term goal for myself is, I would like to podium again on a major IBF tournament. That's just my goal that I set for myself because, I want to, everybody wants to be legit, right? For me, I want to be able to say that, I've competed amongst the best legit competitors in a legit tournament and did okay. Whenever I placed, third, at like nationals or pans, to me, that's my gold, because I was never thought that I would even get that far. I'm like, who am I? I would be so happy. It's like, that's my, greatest achievement just to podium, not even to like win gold or silver, just to make it there. It's such an honor. At the same time, it's also very humbling, right? But like, you also say, okay, I'm just gonna do one tournament and that's it. But no, that's not the case, man. Like you always want to do better all the time. So my best so far as a black belt was been bronze, like third, right? So then, my next goal would be just to try to make it to silver. Nice. And then from there, then move on from there. That's a short-term goal for me. Long-term goal, I would like to eventually have my own school, right? Yeah. So I think that's every just practitioner's goal at some point, if they live that lifestyle. So yeah.
I mean, the process is deep too, right? Just being a competitor, just a cutting weight.
Oh my
God. If you have to cut weight,
For sure.
So getting there and be able to just get a match or be able to just get on the podium, it's just, we can understand because, just the process is deep, You know, if you break it down, it's like,
Man, every day I tell myself, why am I doing this to myself? Because it's not only that you just train. No, you have to do weights. You got to go run. You got to go diet. You got to figure out your game plan. It's just not that easy just to go out there and actually compete, with high level guys. People think, oh, it'll be fun. Yeah, it's fun. But like you said, the process, it's very grueling.
I feel like every belt up to black belt, you have a pressure release valve. They're gonna plateau. Like even the sandbagging guys, like eventually they're gonna go to the next belt. So it's gonna be. I mean, the level gets higher every year, but then in black belt, you're like, oh, maybe at masters. No, it's just a bunch of guys named Gracie. Like they don't. It's not like all of a sudden like at masters, it's like, oh, it's just gonna be these guys that are like slouches or like they toned it down. No, they just their doctors are willing to give them tests now, and like they're really good. They're all like legends in those divisions that just they're in their 30s now.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, I remember I talked to Kurt Osiander and he wouldn't even do anything but adults until he was like 37. And he was like against it. He wanted to keep just doing adult. Like he barely went to masters like in his late 30s, which is crazy but a lot of guys like Coyote's over 30 and like he barely does masters. He'll do it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like Queixinho will do it. Like I was in the same division as Queixinho. I was like crazy. I mean, I shared a podium with Queixinho. Like my first tournament as a black belt. I'm like, what? I got knocked out in the semifinals, and I was like, if I would have won that match, I'd have been in the finals with Queixinho. I'm like, what? It didn't sound real, like at all.
Yeah.
He was a guy. I'd always see at tournaments, and he just like would just wreck it, just beat all these guys. He'd be like a world champion, a Pans champion, he's a guy. He's one of the main guys. Mm-hmm. He's a main event at all these pro events, 5 grappling, the Bake Root or whatever it's called, the Russian one. That's
ACBJJ.
Yeah, those guys, the gangsta one they just had in Brazil where everybody actually got paid real money.
I heard.
Some
people were getting paid like $40K.
Yeah, like athlete money for jiu-jitsu. It's like, what?
But that's amazing though when you think about it compared to before, like you said earlier,
even like 5 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years ago. I mean, like it's hard to realize that, doing jiu-jitsu, you can actually make a decent good amount of money.
Yeah. I think the exit strategy for a lot of the jiu-jitsu competitor in the past was to go to MMA.
Yeah, and
now they actually kind of see like, oh, wait a minute. You can make a little some money a little bit,
and you don't have to get like mollywopped by wrestlers that learned how to strike. It's like the formula seems to be a little bit more like accepting on like a universal scale for that strategy getting in there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's the pro jiu-jitsu events, guys, working it up, getting these big sponsorships. Like you got Ruka doing stuff with guys like Bushesha, and like he's out there doing cruises, like him and Mackenzie Dern do that jiu-jitsu cruise or whatever, and they're doing all these big events. Like they're at least making good enough money to not do other stuff, right?
Yeah.
Are they millionaires? Like no, but at the same time, they're having a living. They're still in their late 20s. Mm-hmm. It's not a bad life. It's hard.
Right. When you look at guys like Renzo Gracie, right? The Avante brothers, there's big associations out there to where, guys like that, make a good living because they built the brand, they built the student, they spent an X number of years, I mean, obviously that would be the end goal, but, to get to that point, it's very, very difficult unless you're either born into it, like you're like a superstar, like one of the big names, you know what I mean? Or that you put in your time.
Yeah, I think it's just time,
Yeah, like guys like Renzo Gracie, it's a different level because like he has so much like that charisma and just the celebrity that came out of just he did so much in his own career and he cultivated so much talent and built such a wide, association, and his instructors are even so successful, and the guys he's related to like kind of dotted line like the Ricardo Almeida and like all the Danaher guys and GSP, and you'd see so much UFC TV.
Deep.
Yeah, and like all the stuff he did in Pride, and then he's got such a personality to him. Like he's got like such charisma, and he's one of those people where you're around him, and he's one of the people that even though he doesn't have to treat you good, or like he doesn't have to like go out of his way to make you feel good, like he does anyway.
Yeah.
Like he's just a good human being. Like,
Yeah.
but for our sport, that's Michael Jordan status. There's him. And there's other guys that have figured out, you know, some of the marketing stuff, like the Lloyd Irvins, like he kind of figured out the marketing when it came to and how to monetize jiu-jitsu. And
Remember he was advertising, get your black belt in how long?
4 years or
4
3
years.
years. Yeah. And that's when he had like Ryan Hall on his roster before Ryan did his own thing. And that because he had the Ryangle University DVDs. Like he was selling DVDs like crazy back then. Everybody was trying to do triangles like Ryan Hall.
Yeah, I think when I was a white belt, somebody gave me that DVD.
See?
And that's all I did was just like triangles.
Yeah. And then, you know, from there, you have Keenan Cornelius who's doing really well, you know, he has his online school. He has, you know, I'm sure he does DVDs still. You have the Mendez brothers that they did so well in competition and like they developed their online school. Gracie Academy has theirs, but again, like Henner's, like if you see his women's class, like the not bully proof, but women's what's it called?
Yeah,
Gracie Empowered, right? Women Empowered
That's
class.
right.
There's 100 women in those classes.
Right.
It's insane.
Wow.
Because I dropped in there a couple times. So like we did the podcast with Henner and Eve and Ulysses Bella from that band Azamatli. Because that dude's a black belt too, like under Gracie Academy. And so we went to the academy in Torrance, and even the women's class, there had to be 100 girls. And like back in the day, there'd be like a girl in every 3 schools. Like that was it. There was no 100 women. What?
Yeah.
But now, like at Fight to Win, the craziest thing that I noticed is like we were back there with Jake Shields and like Gilbert Melendez, and Nate Diaz was like kind of floating around over there. And it wasn't just people asking for autographs from like Nate Diaz and stuff. Like they're going up to like Dustin Akbari, and they're going up to like the jiu-jitsu people like Kit Dale and stuff and asking for autographs. Mm-hmm. And it's just a trip because I mean, to those people, like those are celebrities, those people, but like these are people we just roll with. Mm-hmm. But like, I mean, they're obviously having a lot of success, but you don't think about it in terms of like a level of fame because it was such a small thing before. But now, I mean, with the YouTube and all the online stuff, and just because it's not on HBO, there is a level of celebrity to some of these guys.
Yeah, no, there is.
It's crazy.
Yeah, like the Mendez brothers really, I felt like they really did a lot of legworks for a lot of the future academies and how to do things, you know? Because I think when they kind of started, I think it was like one of the biggest kids team at the time was A-Team, was a checkmat school. Mm-hmm. And when now it's like, I think they have like close to 500 kids. AOJ has.
I gotta admit though, their program, their kids program, their teens, they're all amazing.
The Ruotolo brothers or whatever. Is that
brothers?
Wow.
You know, his new kid now that's been winning everything.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. Something Dalpra.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Our friend's daughter, Mark Heisner's kid. Like she's sponsored.
Yeah,
she's
Maddie.
Was she 7 now? 7 years old? She was 6 or something.
Yeah.
She goes and just wrecks all these kids. Like she wins everything. And her wrestling coach is Daniel Cormier. Yeah, right. Like her and her brother, like the whole family is sponsored and stuff. Like they all are, deep into it. Like the husband, wife, and both children all train together. It's cool. Like everybody's doing it, but they train and maybe they compete a little bit. The parents do, but the kids are like very active, and the daughter especially. She's out there and just like, to me, it's a trip. Also, just seeing kids like. I don't, you know, like they have like those pageant kids, like where the parents are like, you know, have dress up and like, like that show on like whatever the hell channel where they,
Yeah.
you know, like they put them up there. They're like, yeah, you're gonna be a beauty pageant kid and all this stuff. But kids like they love grappling, they love wrestling, they love jujitsu, and they're up there winning all these medals and stuff, and it's crazy.
So speaking of tournaments, right? And I want to get your guys' views on this, right? I call it the blue belt epidemic, right? Because like nowadays, you know, when you're blue belt, right? You know, social media, like, yeah, you know, I'm a champion, I'm a wolf, right? Going to battle and whatnot. Oh yeah, I won, you know, I'm a champion, but you won out of 2 guys, right? Oh yeah, I play silver, yeah, out of 2 guys, right? But they blast on social media as if, you know, they fought through like 10 other guys, right?
Holding up the 2 titles like Connor, like
Yeah. Right, exactly, and you know it's gotten worse than before now because of social media. You know, it's bigger now, right? So because before, you know, it's pretty much you know like work in silence, just go train. But social media now, it's so big. You have a lot of guys that are social media happy, posting every single thing, and we're just like, man, just go train. You know,
you got so many just like very insecure people, just, and it's probably to do with just you know, oversaturation of content everywhere. Like everything's like, you know, it's very material, very, you know, it's always the next big thing. You know, this went viral and this has 1 million views on YouTube, and people just wanting to feel significant. Like, yeah, I don't know. And people are busier. Things are more expensive. You know, how much time are the parents really spending with kids? So you got these kids going on social media like, I'm gonna eat a Tide Pod to feel, you know, like I'm relevant. I'm like, dude, that's like what is that? What is that? Like, you gotta fucking eat detergent or post that you like just won the fucking Naga at a 1-man division for white belt, Master 4. I don't know.
And then you're a world champion all of a
I'm
sudden.
a purple belt. I have no idea. I have no comment about it.
No, but do you guys think though that, you know, social media and, you know, is that good for the sport, for the art? You know, all these guys being social media happy per se, you know, because there was a discussion about, you know, before about getting a medal for like losing or a participation trophy, right? So like, what are your thoughts on that?
No, they're not good. Like, no, participation trophies are not good. People's self-esteem shouldn't be based on just bullshit. Like, how are you going to reinforce, like, you're going to feel good about something that's false? And then what do you build that on? You go out to the real world. Now you're an adult. Now you're 25, 30, you finish college, whatever, high school, you're in the real world. And all of a sudden, like, you're not this special little angel that can't do any wrong. And like, mommy, you know, told me I was the best person in the world.
So let's just talk about jiu-jitsu, right? People that when they get there, they get 3rd place because they lost in the first round. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let me play a little bit of devil's advocate real quick. Okay. So an example: me as a father, 3 kids,
Yeah.
I have a real job and also a want versus need. So dieting, training, but I could train like twice a week. If I'm lucky, I get to train 3 times a week. Okay? So I get there, I travel all the way to wherever I had to be.
Yep.
New York, LA, you know, it's not close. You know, they just say that. So I get in there, I beat the scale. I made weight. Now let's go. I go in there and get triangled in 10 seconds. I get on the podium 3rd. At the end of the day, there's a process. This is just my thought about it. There's a process that of getting there is already winning. So sometimes when people are happy about it, you just kind of have to give it to them because, you know, everyone has their own battle, right? they,
Right.
how to get there sometimes might be different from what we look, from what we are seeing. So, but so let's just say on the other hand,
If you represent it that way, that's one
correct.
thing.
well,
But
yeah.
if you put it as something that it isn't, is a different thing.
Correct. That I respect. That.
Oh,
100%.
okay. So, yeah.
So what we're talking about is the guys that, like he said, are very pretentious, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
be
Right.
like,
That's what I'm talking about.
blah,
That is
blah.
gonna, yeah.
So,
Like
yeah,
jiu-jitsu
I'm-
life, blah blah blah.
yeah, but for that kind of part, I don't really think about it. I just kind of dismiss that kind of, that kind of stuff. I mean, I even though I kind of run our own social media, I barely look at other people's social media as much as possible because I'm trying to do better for myself. But I get what you're trying to say. Maybe it is. Maybe it's, but sometimes I don't know, man. I just try to be happy for others as much as possible.
I feel like if you're
I just kind of give love.
if the commentary or the way you're trying to be perceived is based on like honesty and like reality is one thing. Like, because there's not always going to be 100 people in a division like that I'm in. Like, there aren't that many people that are 221 pounds at black belt. Like, I go to a tournament and sometimes it's one dude, two dudes. And like, you go to absolute and like there's a few people, but they're half my size. And people, like, I've had people drop out of tournaments before because they see a super heavyweight and they're rooster weight, featherweight. Like, they're no, especially if they're a name, they will pull out if there's a much larger person there, even if they're like better, they will pull out. And it's not because of me. Like, I'm not anything special. I'm just a black belt, but they'll see somebody much bigger and they will pull out. So you're not gonna have a lot of guys. So just by default, like, unless I'm like, oh, I'll just go to this, 'cause I can't pick to go to a lower weight. I can go to adults, but still, like, even if you look at, what was it? Nogi Worlds, or was it whatever it was, like the bracket with Keenan Cornelius, like, he'll be in a bracket sometimes where there's like 3 or 4 people. And he's like one of the best in the world. Like, easily, you can say he's one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, there'll be times where there's not that many people, but I'm like, I made it to black belt and I got there and I went and I fought and I did this, I won this, I lost this. And it's like, but I put it out there. It's like, this is the picture. This is what happened. Here's what I'm happy about. Here's what I'm not happy about. I feel like if I come at that with a place like of honesty, but if I Photoshop it where I'm just on the podium by myself and like no one's there, it's like, I feel like that would be different. Like, champion of the world, and it's like when the world's like, Des Moines.
Yeah.
There's like a dude, like, that would be different. I feel like if you're honest about it and you're like, hey, like, not everybody is gonna be Kyotera, or not everybody is gonna be, Bruno Mafalsini, whatever.
I just don't read too much into it. I mean, as much as possible, because that's why I said, I don't even watch TV anymore. So anything that just like that gets me like kind of in a bad mood is I don't do anything. So I try not to think. But I don't know, man. I'm disapproval, so I don't know. What do you guys think about it?
Well, I mean, you will encounter, some teammates, right? Personal experience, right? But for the most part, I totally agree with Clint. I mean, you have to be honest, right? If you portray yourself, hey, I did my best. I lost, but still feels great to win 3rd place or 2nd place. I totally respect that. It's the pretentious ones that are just, posting bullshit that make it seem that, oh yeah, I'm a world champ. I beat so many guys. It took me so long. I was dieting. It was, long. I was injured. But I still made it to 2nd. But there's a bracket of 2 guys, right? Like those guys, I kind of cringe, like, oh my God,
I mean, not everybody could be the Miyao brothers. Suffer in silence.
They are pretty. They're pretty quiet about it.
I mean, they
don't complain.
That one thing that I think Paulo said it or something, and I was just like, wow, that's pretty.
He still hasn't fixed that tooth. This is like years now. He still hasn't fixed that tooth.
I've always wondered about that.
He just did. He could have fixed it.
If he does fix it, then you wouldn't know who Paulo and who Joao is.
Yeah, but they like, I heard he had offers. Like, people were willing to just like, no, like, I'm a dentist. Like, I'll hook you up. Like, if if just to put the name out there to be like it was this dentist in São Paulo or this dentist in LA, like they could have that tooth fixed immediately for
I bet.
no money.
You know, but man, those guys are warriors, man. They just don't care.
No.
Did you watch his interview over at ACBJJ? Right?
No.
When Drysdale interviewed him, he's not a big talker, right? And then Drysdale would ask, what was your game plan going to this match? What did you do different, so on and so forth? And then always said that I just trained, something like that, just like a few words.
Oh no, I saw that. No. He said my game plan was to win.
Yeah.
That's what he said. I remember that.
Yeah, it was just short and sweet, just straight to the point, and everyone was just like, "Yeah, that's Paul me out for you, right?"
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And Drysdale asked him, after this, are you down to go train right now? He's like, yeah, let's go. Amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I actually have an interview of those guys, a video interview, which I've never released, which was a brown belt, when they were a brown belt.
Oh, was it at the battle? One of the jiu-jitsu battles?
No, it was, I don't know what it was. I think it was after Worlds where Paulo beat Keenan
Nice.
by 2 points or something.
Now, is it true though that they actually sleep on the gym?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, they confirmed
the
it.
mats. Yeah, that's where they live, like on the mats.
Yep, they confirmed it, and I remember that interview. These guys are so humble, and one of the reasons why I didn't release that video, because the video got really emotional. I think Joao cried about it, and some questions that I had for him. He just I don't know, maybe one of this day I will release it, but I did kind of ask them a while back, like, hey, what do you think of releasing this? He kind of said he doesn't care, but sometimes they were like, no, but it was a pretty deep interview. Yeah.
That'd be interesting to watch.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Really.
But it's funny because I remember when there were blue belts, purple belts, and brown belts. I think I have every single of their matches as a purple belt at Pan Am's, every single matches at Worlds, every single matches at brown belt at Pan Am's. I have tons of footage of them because I was able to get that. It was a time that I was able to get down there and able to film.
Oh, nice.
At the time. So I think IBGF kind of banned that. That's why I stopped making highlights, because I was like, you know what? If I'm not wanted, I don't want to be here. I'm not gonna film stuff.
There's only a couple like photography places that still have access to all those events, that still get credentials. Like I know Mike's one of them, Kalimba's.
Mm-hmm.
Like
he's a big one.
You can book him, and he's booked out all the time. But he's doing all the fight to win stuff now too. Like he's there.
Yeah, dude's awesome.
I saw him like yesterday. He was going to the airport. I think he went to Oakland Airport, and I just went to San Jose Airport. He literally earlier in the day, I think he was in Houston, then flew to Oakland or whatever, and then it bounced back out, going God knows where. I was like,
wow.
Man. We've been trying to like catch up and do one of these for a while, but it's like he'll be in the Bay, and then it's like a day, and he's got to go somewhere else because like they're doing those fight to win events often and everywhere, but then he does other tournaments too, like Pans. He's there. Anything IBJJF does, any of the bigger events, like you see him running around with these big ass like studio lenses and stuff. But the guy's got hustle. But
yeah, and it's not easy, Like I've did media, at IBJJF from like 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. before, and that stuff is not easy. And a lot of people criticize some people before. Like we used to get criticized because we didn't like film black belts or anything like that. Like, man, try to be there by 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
You could do like absolutes, because some of the big tournaments have like the absolute black belts before the actual division matches. So if they do open weight, you can get those. But then otherwise, like some of those go pretty late at night, and it'll be a whole 2-day event. I mean, like Worlds last year in Long Beach, It was so long. It was so long, and I stuck through just the second day. It's so long.
Man, I remember I'm still am, but I was such a jiu-jitsu geek. I remember Edwin Najami was a purple belt. I think I was there at 8 a.m. to support some of my friends, and I stayed until 9 p.m. the very last match of Edwin Najami, and I'm glad that I stayed, bro. I don't know if you guys remember that when he
triangled
won
everyone.
Yeah, but he lost his division. He was pretty bummed out. I mean, he went into open division and won it, and not just won it, but like he beat Nicholas Marigelli by flying triangle. It was
Sick.
bro.
I remember that
And
match.
we've supported Edwin for a while, and at that time he was with us. It was amazing, So,
Yeah, Nicholas Marigali, I followed him since he was purple belt.
dude, that dude's
That
a
kid's
beast.
a beast.
That kid's a beast.
Beast. I told myself back then, when he was purple, this kid is going to be a world champion. Just watch out for him. And sure enough,
He just won Worlds a couple years ago,
he
wasn't
beat
it?
Lowe.
Yeah.
Leandro Lowe, I was there.
Yeah.
I was there. I was there too. Yeah.
That was the first year of his black belt.
What was his academy? Is he what's it?
Alliance.
Yes.
Alliance with
Mario
Mario
Hayes.
Hines. Yeah.
So I was so tired walking around. I sat down right where all the Alliance, all the Alliance people were, like right in the place in Long. It was at the Pyramid in Long Beach.
Mm-hmm.
I sat down and like right there, and it was Leandro Lowe against Nicholas, and he is young. He had only been a black belt a year when he won. This is last year at Worlds at the Pyramid.
Yeah, that was his first year as a black belt.
I'm sitting there and like everybody.
First world as a black belt.
But I think he was just a brown belt under a year before that, man.
Yeah.
So I'm like sitting there and like I'm about to fall asleep, and then all of a sudden this match comes up and it's Leandro Lowe, and I'm like, wait, what? And it was the finals, and he pulled off the win. It was a competitive match. It was he won by points or advantage or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it was points.
Yeah.
But same thing with
There was he swept him once, which was like the whole place went nuts.
Yeah, I remember that. Even Mikey Musumeci, right?
Oh, dude.
Right, his first year as a remember the match with him beating Paulo? Yeah, over at Nationals, like his first tournament.
He was one of those ones.
Joao.
It was Joao. Okay.
Yeah.
Like him and his sister, like they had posted like they were like really like proficient on the social media stuff. So I was like, I didn't know like how legit they were, and then like I saw how like, oh no, this kid's legit for sure. They came up like almost like seemingly like out of nowhere over like a 2-year stretch because they were killing it at lower belts, but that's like their whole life, huh? There's like 2 kids from New Jersey.
Pretty super smart kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't, if you looked at them, you're like, you wouldn't say like, oh, they're clearly professional athletes, because they just looked like regular kids. Like, like if you looked at the Meow Brothers before, like they clearly got into CrossFit or something, like, because they're a little bit more yoked nowadays than back in the day. Last time I saw them, like I think a year ago, I was like, dude, they put on some size.
It's amazing how some of those they can cut down to 141.
Yeah.
I'm at 141, but when I go next to them, those guys are yoked.
Yeah, they got some muscle on them now. They're like, they don't have that same kind of like stringy kid body they used to, like, with the high water pants gi and everything.
The outfit.
The outfit.
The outfit. They always let them fly too. They never like they never say nothing. Like they're the one guys where they can go right through the gi check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Inspector
those
Gadget.
guys are awesome. Yeah, we would love to get them back on board for One versus Need. So we'll see.
They don't seem very. They don't seem like very like materialistic people when it comes to like being like. I think the relationship would be there. They'd be probably down. I mean, who are they with now?
I'm not sure.
No one.
Right?
But the last gi, Paulo wore at ACBJ thing was the Maeda one, but he's not advertising it, so which led me to believe that he just
Wore it.
wore it.
Yeah.
But I don't think they have anyone right now
Crazy.
because they were shorter for the longest time.
Yeah. We chatted for a little bit, so we'll see. But I mean, all nothing but success to those guys.
Yeah.
Because they work hard, man.
Yeah, they live it. I think more than a lot of other people. They're not flashy. Like they're just into the scene. They're into just doing jujitsu.
Shut up and train.
Yeah, not really talking about it or advertising it. They just sort of have their heads down in it.
Train in silence, yeah.
Yeah.
Suffer and
In silence.
suffer in silence.
Suffer in silence.
That's amazing.
Sleep on the mats. Live at the gym.
Yeah, dude.
24/7.
So how does so they have do they own their gym where they sleep on the mats, or is it just the
No,
gym?
I don't think so. I think they have an apartment in New York. I mean, somebody told me, one of our friends that visited, what was their gym called?
Unity.
Yeah, Unity. Sorry, it's kind of late. So, blanking out. Unity, and they were saying that I think the athletes have their own little apartments.
So are they the main? Do they run Unity or
it's run by Morello Santana with his wife. What is her name? Totally blanking out. But yeah, so they run it together, and I think they just help and kind of teach.
Crazy.
Yeah, but good for them, man. It was pretty like, it was kind of weird that from who they are and Brazilian and moving to New York in a very cold weather.
There's a lot of Brazilians in New York, New York, New Jersey, Newark, Trenton, and then especially in the city, there's a lot of Brazilians there.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like a Brazilian of them.
Super expensive in New York. I don't know why they opened it there, but hey.
But have you seen their space, right? It's so small, but the amount of students that they have, it's like when you're rolling, I'm here, right there already, right? Comparing it to Marcelo Garcia, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where he has a huge space.
Marcelo's, I think, is built the same way as Henzo's. So Henzo's, it's 2 leases. The street level one, because they're not that far from Chelsea. It's expensive real estate. It's a very small, kind of almost storefront. The main gym's downstairs, and that's sprawling. That's what you see on all the videos. It's big, but from the street, you'd look in, you're there's nowhere to train in here. It's tiny. You go down the stairs, and it's just mat space after mat space. It's big.
Is that the main headquarters, or?
That's the one where Henzo is, yeah, with John Danaher and all those guys. It's right midtown Manhattan, right there. And then Marcelo Garcia's school is 0.2 miles from that.
0.2.
Yeah, you're right there. So you go this way to get to Marcelo's, that way to go to Henzo's.
Wow.
And then there's another one right around the corner too.
Yeah.
There's 3 that are all within probably a quarter mile.
Wow.
And probably some smaller ones I don't even know about.
But there's a few Henzo school in New York, right?
Yeah, all throughout New York, New Jersey, and I know New Jersey. What's his name again? We said his name earlier.
Ricardo Almeida.
Ricardo Almeida, that's a Henzo's affiliate, isn't it?
Nahales also.
Oh yeah. And
has his own school now.
then there's the Long Island one where then Stephen Kesting, isn't he also in that thing with Emily Kwok or whatever? I think they're also Henzo school. They have some other stuff in New Jersey. They're all East Coast.
Man, that lineage is deep.
Yeah, Henzo's such a good dude.
Well, there's so many schools now, right? I mean, jiu-jitsu is pretty much everywhere now compared to before.
Yeah.
So that's amazing for the sport, amazing for the art. It's just good to see that it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool that there's more of these productions that you have the EBIs and the Polarises and the Fightuans, and not so much the Metamorphoses, but the idea of it anyway. Just
Yeah.
Metamoris. The most memorable match that I've ever watched there that I still remember is Hodge Gracie versus Bushasha.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
Well, it was cool.
Yeah.
My favorite was Dean Lister and what's his name, and Josh Barnett.
I would just
You didn't see it?
Yeah. No. You know, his face when he was trying to like heel hook or something like that, he would just, you know, like.
I thought it was funny. He came out with the robe and like the pro wrestling trunks. He's like this really large dude, basically in a Speedo on there. It's like,
I think the match that I vividly remembered was Eddie Bravo versus Hoyler.
that was the biggest one.
I did not think it was gonna go that way.
Me neither. I mean, I was cringing the entire time when he got put in that move.
The vaporizer. That thing hurts because it's like 3 submissions in one. It's kind of a toe hold at the same time you're in a calf slicer and a shin lock all at the same time. Because you're not just pulling this way, you pull sideways too. So you're tearing at the cartilage as you're like slicing it, and plus your hips turned over. You're all stretched out awkwardly.
His knee looked, but man, Hoyler muscled through that. It was just amazing how flexible he is. And then it was just nothing. You know, there was no facial expression. He didn't grimace.
They even made a song afterwards, like.
Speaking of Hoyler, have you trained with him before?
Yeah, he comes here to do a seminar. You know, once in a
Cool.
while. Like this Saturday, Pedro Sauer's coming down.
Oh wow!
To do a seminar. It's $80, which is amazing. $80
It's a really good deal.
Yeah,
Really?
He comes here often. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of seminars in general. Like, I don't know. I think some people don't like doing them or don't want to spend the money, but I think it's totally worth it. And even if you only pick up one thing, like you didn't have it, and even the stuff that you didn't learn that day, like you find a way to fill in the blanks later.
Oh
like,
man, dude! You know my first seminar? It's crazy. I don't like seminars now, by the way, because sometimes I can't sit through it. It's kind of hard. But my first seminar was like, I think I just trained like a month, and then my first seminar was with Bushesha. And you know what he showed? It was a reverse De La Riva back to like a what was it? Kiss of the Dragon, whatever. But I don't know what that name. But I just use reverse De La Riva to go to the back and take the back and yada yada. From this day, I just still use it. That's all I knew. When I came back to training, that's all I did was reverse De La Riva, go to the back. As a white belt, that's all I learned.
And when the Berimbolo first got popular, we had Mendez brothers come to AK Sunnyvale, and like one day was that, and then everybody was just doing this crap. Like that's all everybody kept going for. It was like, yeah. Then the next day, it was a 2-day seminar. The second day, they were showing like the reverse De La Riva sweeps and stuff, and so you had a bunch of there were a lot of white belts that went to that as well.
Speaking of Mendez brothers, don't you guys feel that? You know, it's so sad that Hoffa and his brother retired from competing because, you know, they're so awesome to watch when they compete.
Yeah.
And that they're so young, right? You know?
No, I think it was a great move.
But as a fan.
I know.
As a fan.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh no, come back.
But you know, it's like we need somebody to somewhat look up to and kind of have that like untouchable thing. I mean, you know, you're not, but like, you know, I just want to see that, hey, you did great.
Stop.
Stop.
Yeah, leave on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you know, when Corbino was just getting beat by Hoffa every year, and then Corbino was like so awesome. He he Grand Slam.
Grand Slam, yeah, last year.
I was like, okay.
Grand Slam, that's double gold at all the big ones.
No, just gold. Grand Slam is just gold in all the biggest tournament. Double Grand Slam is double gold.
Oh, so it's Pans, Worlds,
Euros.
Oh, Europeans.
But he also did ADCC.
And also ADCC.
So I guess that's like Super Grand Slam.
Super Grand Slam. Yeah, the ADCC is
naming this
crazy.
stuff, by the way. Who started naming all this Super Grand Slam? Now, you know, look at us, man. They can't even reach it anymore. Stop it.
Then they got there's a triple double. That's if you do absolute both, right?
Oh.
Because that's what Lloyd Irvin was talking about because Keenan did the Grand Slam, but he did it as absolute and his weight at purple belt, I think brown belt too.
Mm-hmm. So he had like double grand slam. That was the year. It was, man.
That was a Kumite year. What?
I mean, that year. I mean, to me, I'm always gonna remember that the biggest rivalry that I saw was between the Miyao brothers and Keenan.
Yep.
When they, I mean, I was right in front of all like the biggest matches. Like I'm just with my camera, 2 cameras, was like there. I mean, it was amazing, and I could never. It's probably like that. That's gonna be my timeline of like, what was the biggest rivalry? It's like it's not even Hafa and Corbina because that's kind of like before my time, and it kind of continue. What started is like the Miyao and Keenan, you know,
Which were, it started as purple belts and then brown belts. It's crazy. It wasn't even black belts.
yeah.
And that was
Yeah, they never met at black belts, only from purple and brown. But
because they're not in the same
every
weight division
single
at
biggest
all
event.
anymore. Keenan got his adult body by black belt.
yeah,
Now he's super heavy now. He's a super heavyweight. He's big. It's like,
you guys remember that one time at when Keenan was losing by I think by 2 points, I believe it was a Euro. He was losing by 2 points, and he did that kind of kick and fell to the side control, that pass. And then it was like, I was devastated for the Mia. I was like, no, because I was such a fan.
Was that when he was long step passing?
Yes, like just that.
Yeah.
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 Dude, I was like, what? That's why it was so great before they got their black belt that Paulo beat him. You know, so it was just like, yes, for the small guys. I was so happy.
Which one did Fuki fight? Fuki actually went up against one of them, and then he lost on points, but like he didn't get finished.
Oh yeah, Paulo.
Yeah, it was actually a good match.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was Fuki when he was a featherweight.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think he can. I don't know if Fuki can still get to featherweight now.
What did he just did? What 140?
Yeah, that was 141.
Yeah. Last night. That's funny. That was just last
Because I
night.
roll with Fuki once in a while at One World.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look like a 150. He's like at least bigger, like a lightweight.
Yeah. Oh, that's like 154.
Lightweight 167, right?
Oh, 160. Yeah, 167.5.
Yeah.
I was thinking
Yeah.
the other one. Oh, that's right. Man. I think I've done like every division from when I first like got into jiu-jitsu. I was like cutting like crazy. My lightest one I did lightweight.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Lightweight.
I did one. Yep. My lightest weight. I did one season. I had just got back from Malaysia. I got really sick. I got really sick, and I was like, I made weight at 167.5
Wow.
at white belt. It didn't go well. I got very sick. Like I think it was chicken rice. I don't know. I was in Kuala Lumpur. I think I lost like 25 pounds, like food poisoning bad.
Oh wow.
And I like came back and competed at lightweight. And then like I went right. My next one was like back in like medium heavy again or something. I don't know. I was like 25 or 26 years old. But like yeah, I got super sick. I looked ridiculous, man. I had this big old head. That was
All right.
lots of years. How long will be? Oh, it's that late.
1:15 in the morning.
See, I want to
Time
keep
flies.
talking, but I need to go to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm chilling. I'm just. I don't
Yeah,
have to do anything tomorrow.
I gotta do some stuff tomorrow.
Yeah.
But,
I get it. And you still gotta drive for an hour.
I still have to drive for an hour. Yeah, I've got my.
You can
That's
sleep here, man.
I got a family breakfast thing to go to tomorrow. My mom will be mad.
Yeah.
Came to town to meet some cousins that we didn't know about. That we had. We did the DNA test on Ancestry.com.
That's an amazing story about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like you gotta. Your story is a little bit better. Like you beat cancer and you're gonna go win Pan Ams this year. Like that, you get the you win story day. But my like the thing was my mom found out she had like first cousins we didn't know about. So we're starting to put the pieces together and figure out who everybody is, and it's like learn about like who's from my mom's side of the family. Like we had no idea these relatives existed, and there's apparently a bunch of them. And so I kind of came to visit my mom this weekend just to sort of help out a little bit because like her health isn't that good, but also just to do the family thing a little bit. So it's cool that we're all able to do this at the same time. Like I can't just do a family trip, or I can't just do like a work trip. There has to be like, okay, I'm in town. Gotta go train here and do like 2 podcasts. Okay. And not like, I'm neurotic about it. So like I have to be productive. Like I'm like, how can we squeeze a podcast in and be like,
Can't blame you, man. Can't blame you.
Hustle's a muscle, sir.
Well, that's a good trait to have, though.
Yeah, like I don't like being complacent. I feel like there's some missed opportunity. I just don't like it. It's like, but did you die? No. Okay. Well, could I do more? Probably. All right. Well, fucking do more then. I don't know. Anyway, it's Ryan Bernardino. He beat cancer and he's going to beat everybody at Pan Am. So
I just want to be there.
He's going to be there all humble, wearing his Want versus Need gi.
Yep.
Al Lagura here. He's want versus needing all over the place. He's wanting and needing right here in not Las Vegas, undisclosed location, Lily Prompt, Nevada.
Yeah.
And I'm here just doing what I normally do. And thanks everybody for listening, watching, subscribe, like, follow at Want versus Need, at al.lagura, unless that's private, and at ryan.bernardino on Insta stuff.
Correct. Yes, cool. Ryan.Bernardino.
You have additional plugs, stuff you want to talk about?
Oh, me? Oh, no, nothing.
The guy that isn't wearing his Want versus Need swag. Don't worry, we'll chop something right over your head right there. It'll be like a big like Las Vegas light style billboard.
I mean, just want to try to be service for others, man. That's all we want to do.
Homies before all. That's how we do. All right. Thank you. We're going to bed. Well, I'm going to drive out and we'll go to bed, but y'all don't need to know all the details. Thank you. Peace. Ow. Oh my God. Old.